Welcome back, Summit County, Summit Sunrise Live here on TV8 Summit, and now I'm being joined by John Reller from the Summit County Rescue Group and his furry friend Recco. How are you this morning?
Doing well, thanks.
Yeah, we got
Doing
a little,
real well.
little fun. No one is ever really opposed to seeing a little doggy action in the morning, right?
That's for sure.
And this guy is super important job. He goes out there and saves some people, right? You guys use dogs in your rescues. Tell me a little bit about that.
We do. With the avalanche search and rescue portion of what we do, she can go out there and cover an area that is, take an area that's 100 yards by 100 yards.
Absolutely.
And she can efficiently cover that in approximately 20 minutes.
Oh.
Whereas if we went out there with a group of rescuers, it would take a dozen folks upwards of 6 hours
Wow.
to remotely cover that as efficiently as a good, well-trained dog can do that.
Wow. And that's, I mean, would you obviously use dogs a lot? Is that like the best technology? Obviously you're better than humans and stuff like that. Really, the dogs are where it's at, right?
If you don't have the proper avalanche safety technology with you, meaning beacons or Recco devices,
Yes.
The Recco tabs that
Yes.
are in your clothing, then this is by far your next best bet.
Yes.
As far as a reliable, efficient means of rescue.
Absolutely.
So, it is a matter, as much fun as it is, it's a matter of life and death.
Absolutely.
With
Now,
these guys.
when you're headed out there, obviously he's got a really big job. You also have a job. Tell me about like what your role is as you work with him.
My biggest role is to not get in her way.
Okay.
Just to stay out of her way,
Okay.
and set her up for success and let her do her thing.
Yeah.
But you're right. I do have play an integral role as well, whether it be site command,
Yes.
or setting her up for success, taking a look at the big picture, and putting her in a best position to succeed. When we do find somebody, it's a matter of first aid and then extrication,
Yeah.
whatever that may entail.
Yeah, when you get to that decision of, okay, this is what the plan of action is.
Right.
Okay.
And the other thing that we can do by going in as a team is minimizing the exposure of
Okay.
other rescuers to a potentially hazardous situation, so we're
Try
not
to- yeah.
exposing
It already
an
is a
entire
dangerous
team.
situation to try to
Right.
minimize whatever impact is going to come out of that.
Yep.
Now, how do we get doggy friends involved in this? Like what's the process for that? How do you decide that, okay, this is the dog that can hold down this job?
Well, I think a big part of what we do and what's really important is how we, just like you asked, how we go about ending up with this.
Yes.
How do we start? So what dog are we picking in the first place? What breeds are we looking at?
Yes.
Typically the working breeds.
Yeah, some are going to obviously just
hunting
already
dogs.
have a better
Exactly,
start
they're
towards
predisposed to that
Exactly.
type of work. And then once we have picked the litter of a good working breed, we're looking at personality. Because just
Yes.
like people, dogs all have different personalities.
Exactly.
So we want that one that, as we say, has a high drive, a high hunt and prey
Motivated,
drive.
yeah.
Extremely motivated,
Yep.
right. So that's not going to be every dog out of a litter.
No.
So we want to set ourselves up for success.
Yeah.
And then once we make that selection, then we're looking at a lifetime, basically, because it's not you train them and you're done.
Yes.
We're always training. But in the beginning, it's a whole lot of socialization, trying to
Yes.
get them used to all the different environments that they could be exposed to,
Yeah.
so nothing is a surprise to them.
Yes, it's far different being on Main Street than out in the middle of, an open face on a mountain, right?
Right, or just to get there, whether
Exactly.
it's, as opposed to walking down Main Street, we're either on a snowmobile, in a
Yes.
helicopter.
Yes.
She's being picked up and carried, all these different things.
Okay, so when you decide, okay, this is the dog that's going to fulfill this role, I can help them, they can help me, what goes into that whole process? How do you go about training them?
What it is to her really is just a simple game.
Yeah.
All we're doing is playing a game of hide and seek.
Okay.
And rewarding them for completing that simple game of hide and seek.
Okay.
So to her, we try to make it the most fun thing she gets to do, even though it's extremely serious to us. So it starts out as a simple runaway, with her watching somebody run away, literally 10 feet away.
Interesting.
And then it just lengthens, whether it's time-wise, not seeing where that person's gone, adding all kinds of variables, changing the environment that we do that in. But that's really
Basically adding a much more serious version of like our childhood game of manhunt, you
That's
know?
exactly what it is, yep.
Just with much more serious implications.
And because she likes it so much, and if you pick the right dog, that
Yeah.
it's just a game of tug,
Yeah,
you know, with a rag or a bumper.
absolutely.
Is all it is.
Interesting. Well, you know, gotta say, it's nice to meet you guys. Good to meet you,
You
Recco.
as well. Thanks for having us in.
It's always a pleasure talking to you guys and, you know, learning a little more about our backcountry and our safety and how we can do a little more to help. So thank you, John, for coming in this morning. Thank you, Recco. We're going to take a little break here. We're going to come back and we're going to head over. We're going to see craniology, but we're going to step away right now and we'll see you back here in a second.